Interestingly enough, we bring you this live shot here. We know the former president has called for protests in a peaceful manner. Many Republicans push back on that, but interestingly enough, it's the opposite side that's outside protesting now, saying insurrection, TikTok, time's up. No one is above the law. Trump is guilty. Again, many supporting the possible indictment of former President Trump there.
Again, those signs really look like they were made by the grassroots groups too, don't they, Sean?
Yeah, we'll continue to follow that.
Yeah, we'll continue to follow whether or not these signs mean anything outside of the fact that folks showed up and didn't want anything to do with one Donald Trump after he then asked for significant protests to happen due to his only call for being arrested. As you see, Newsmax conservative network there had to point out that the folks that did show up on Tuesday to see Trump be arrested, they were also disappointed as well. But actually the day before that, the New York Young Republicans did show up to rally, and they had about 50 people, man. What a huge showing that was. Let's see the way that they portrayed that event.
There is support for President Trump in the bluest area in the country, here in Manhattan, right outside the courthouse where he may be arraigned. This is a politicized prosecution and persecution without any merit.
It's an embarrassment to our country. This should not happen to anyone running for president.
This is a witch hunt. I think the American people realize that this is a witch hunt. Donald Trump's support is amplifying and increasing by the day.
Our country and our city was in a much better place when Donald Trump was the president.
Alvin Bragg needs to get back to work. We need him to focus on doing his job, cleaning up the crime in the city, and filling this building behind us with criminals to the brim and not with an audience of one named Donald Trump.
Some of the goals of this New York Young Republicans group there wants to fill the jail with more folks because we have a shortage of prisoners in America. But still, the head of that, the president of that particular group, his name is Gavin Wax, and he was talking about that particularly low turnout, which some people made fun of because it was only 50 after there was supposed to be protests, but he had a good reason behind it. Let's look into that from Politico. He said, we weren't sure we even wanted to come out because some people don't like us. Okay, but we are here to show that there's support for President Trump in the bluest area in the country, here in Manhattan. That's what he said, trying to account for the small gathering of that some 50 people when he predicted a crowd of at least 3 times the size earlier in the day. You know, keep expectations low, and then when they're lower, just say you didn't mean it. By Monday evening, though, Wax claimed that the small turnout was by design because the club wanted to be a low-key event. I guess mission accomplished there. One other part about this, because look, we talked yesterday about these Republicans that were backing Donald Trump, but then also saying, hey, let's not have one of these big events because you guys know you get violent. I mean, not you guys, just Antifa, you guys. But still, she decided to support this particular low turnout and actually no violent response to it. This is what she tweeted. This is what a real Trump supporting peaceful protest looks like. So I think she's insinuating that January 6th was not Trump people. They obey the law and they use their constitutional rights. Trump supporters, listen to this line. They don't wear a mask and encourage violence. Trump supporters chant, Fed, Fed, Fed at people like Ray Epps. Well done. And she added the New York Young Republicans there. I want you guys to remember that, again, that one line that they don't wear a mask and also they don't encourage violence. There was this tweet that depicted some of the folks there. And as you can see here, they don't wear masks. I mean, mask, as she said. They don't wear a mask. And also, when it comes to that president, Gavin Wax, they definitely don't push violent rhetoric and chant for any kind of violence going down, except for at this event at the New York Young Republicans Club last year. This is Gavin Wax.
But ladies and gentlemen, we want more offenses. We want flanking maneuvers. We want to cross the Rubicon. We want total war. We must be prepared to do battle in every arena, in the media, in the courtroom, at the ballot box, and in the streets. This is the only language the left understands, the language of pure and unadulterated power.
It's kind of odd, Ben. First, the turnout wasn't what they expected, fine. So you make up for that. Then we talk about how they're nonviolent, except for the fact that they pretty much espouse violence all the time.
Yeah, and you can't be calling for violence in the streets while wearing a tuxedo at a fancy gala. I feel like that's a strange move out the gate. I love how in the first clip, the dude, when this pro-Trump network is forced to cut to a anti-Trump protest, and the guy is forced to read the signs, then they go back to their commentator, their hack commentator that has to still say a partisan thing, and he goes, "I'm sure those signs were made by the grassroots, right?" Really, is his argument there that George Soros made these signs? Is that what? Can somebody introduce me to George Soros? Because I would love a discount at FedEx Kinko's. What kind of morons are these people? I'd also like to read you two other quotes from this story that are pretty amazing. Vish Burra, the club's executive secretary, is also an aide to the New York Republican rep George Santos.
Absolutely.
So that's the level of people you're getting here. And then when asked if these protests are going to get chaotic, a supporter named Ross said, "Of course they're going to be unruly. What choices do people have? How about to not disrupt your life and traffic by protesting because your guy wanted to bang a porn star? How about just let him do that one on his own? Let him see that one through on his own. This isn't a national security item. He wants to pay hush money payments to a porn star. Maybe let him deal with that." Or you can also show up to his son's math tutoring class and make sure that Barron doesn't slack off with his ADD because his father snorted all the crushed up Adderall in the house.
Well, it's definitely something that they're tracking. But this is the thing about this. They revealed one other thing throughout that first video, or at least the second one that we watched there, because this shouldn't happen to a former president. It shouldn't happen to a former president. It shouldn't happen to people. Not that this stuff wasn't illegal. It shouldn't happen to them. They're completely advocating for this.
He's above the law.
Unequal justice system.
He's above the law.
That's the bottom line. That's the point of this whole thing.